FUD alert, FUD alert, FUD alert. Welcome back to the Devil's Advocate. And today we are going to talk about Tesla FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Tesla has historically been a target of a lot of FUD, a lot of mainstream media that has been spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the company, about its practices, about Elon Musk, about what he promises, and about how the world is changing towards EVs over the past few years, there has been a lot of FUD that has been dismissed, that has been proven as false allegations, that has essentially been uh, called nonsense because of the way Tesla has improved technology, because of the new technologies that Tesla has brought into the market, the way it's rapidly changing the world in terms of how we sustainably move, how we sustainably generate electricity, how we sustainably store electricity, and how we are advancing the advent of sustainable ecosystems around the world. So let's look at what the mainstream finance media is up to today. Today we talk about the latest article that has come out in Bloomberg written by Craig Trudell, and it is in the lead up to Tesla's Battery Day, which is about to happen tomorrow. And we've all seen a lot of news about Battery Day, what expectations are. We've seen a leak on the new cell that Tesla is most likely about to reveal, the new big fat cell, as it has been called. And there have been a lot of scientific analysis. Uh, there's been a lot of talk about how the tabless electrode that Tesla is about to release in the big fat cell that is completely going to change how we think about batteries and why uh, this Tesla's new battery might be absolutely revolutionary, not only in terms of the cost of the battery, in terms of manufacturing costs, in terms of manufacturing scalability, but also in terms of how it is going to bring us so much closer to potentially the 400 watt hours per kilogram mark, where we actually might start thinking about VTOL, about starting to put batteries into aviation. So let's look at what Craig has to say. He says, he talks about Elon and how he has, over the course of the years, he's made a lot of claims, and he's talking about the track record of following through on big promises. And he basically says, and he quotes Elon, all of these things, I said we would do them, and we did it. He said this. The only criticism, and it's a fair one, is that sometimes I'm not on time, but I get it done, and the Tesla team gets it done. This is so true. Yes, Elon Musk has to make a lot of claims. He has to set those targets for himself and for Tesla and for the world to move at a faster pace towards a better future, and he sets very lofty goals. Um, as the Daimler CEO once stated that we tell our engineers to aim for the moon, Elon Musk went directly to Mars. So moving on, what Craig says is that the CEO was right in some aspects and candid in noting that at times Tesla takes longer than predicted to bring some of the things to market. What he didn't acknowledge was that several products that he hyped have burnished his Silicon Valley visionary image, and things were barely commercialized and still aren't available or were abandoned entirely. Now, this is so untrue. There are so many things that Tesla has brought to the market that nobody else even imagined 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. Everybody thought that Tesla is a joke. And look at Tesla today. It is the world's most valuable automaker and by a margin, by almost 10x potentially, right? Let's look at what the examples that Craig is taking up. He talks about the Model X and Fed 2012. Tesla was less than 20 months removed from its initial public offering, the IPO, and it had not delivered the Model S sedans yet when Musk unveiled the Model X prototype. And he said it's going to go into production in late 2013. Now, he talks about how the SUV actually came out in September 2015. He said that it was a he talks about the unveiling that the double-hinged falcon wing doors that he talked about in the SUV's rollout, and how that's the most attention-grabbing thing ever. And he quotes Musk saying that Musk later said that the disappointing deliveries on the hubris of trying to do too much with the vehicle is essentially what caused a delay and essentially a lower number of deliveries. Now that is true, but think about it. It is 2012. There is no electric vehicle of the scale of the Model S or the Model 3. The technology that goes into the electric vehicle, heck, the Falcon Wing doors that are automatically controlled, it is difficult to build that. I mean, I'll ask Craig, has he ever engineered something in his life? It is not an easy thing to achieve. It is not an easy piece of engineering to achieve and get right. Craig goes on and says that the quality of the vehicle was horrible. He says that the Model X consistently scored poorly in consumer report rankings, while Tesla's other vehicles have scored well. Now, back in 2012, when Tesla actually launched, or in between 2012 and 2015, when the Model S came out, when the Model X came out, Tesla was in its infancy when it came to manufacturing. It had bought an old factory that I believe Toyota and GM had vacated. Uh, it had put in new machinery. Uh, it was just starting to ramp up production. This was the first time in 100 years that a vehicle startup was aiming to get into mass production. And yes, it is difficult. It is not something that happens every other day or every other year, and that you can expect uh, perfection to happen, at all times. So what Craig says is that Tesla's other vehicles had scored well. So the other vehicles at that point were the Model S and the Roadster. So what happened with the Model X? The Model X was at that point in time way ahead of its time. It was designed from the ground up, keeping in mind what the aspirations of the affluent customer is going to be. Who's going to buy a $100,000 SUV? What they need? What would they like from a vehicle? Now, I personally have never seen, or at least had never seen, a vehicle like the Model X back in 2015. And uh, over the course of the last 5 years, we have not seen another vehicle that actually matches the Model X in drivability, in function, in it is probably one of the best SUVs out there for families, for people with pets, for people with let's say elderly parents. It makes it a breeze to get in and out. What Craig says is that he goes on later and says that the Model X and its Falcon Wing doors, it used to hit the roofs of garages. Now, of course, there are some garages that are low, and Tesla has actually uh, rebuffed it, saying that for low garages, it does hit the garage, but it does it softly, such that the garage is not damaged, and neither is the vehicle. He goes on to talk about battery swap in June 2013 when Musk, it was back in the day, it was those times when there was a big discussion and there was a big debate, both within Tesla and in the community as well, that which of these is more efficient? Is a battery swap more efficient to do, or is it um, building a network of superchargers and advancing the charging technology such that we bring the charge times down? and get them to a point where it is more or less similar to, or functionally similar to, the breaks that we take during driving, and charging becomes something which is very easy and accessible to a lot of to pretty much every car owner in the world. So yes, at that point in time, Musk did talk about battery swap, and then as they went into it, as they started exploring the technology, as they started understanding the technology and understanding the pros and the cons, the associated problems with the technology, Tesla and Elon Musk basically said that, hey, we're not going to do battery swaps. We are going to advance supercharging. We're going to advance charging infrastructure. And they did it. Today, Tesla's network of superchargers, at least in most parts of the world, will get you from anywhere to anywhere in a continent almost, or at least in most countries, without having to think about any kind of range anxiety. And there have been automakers who have invested in the battery swap technology. One of the big ones is actually NIO. It One look at NIO's balance sheet says that it is so much more expensive to build battery swap stations uh, that at that point in time, Tesla had just felt that it does not have the right kind of ROI, and Tesla has shown over the course of the years that it was the right decision, at least for Tesla, at least at that point in time. So, bringing this up today in 2020, a decision that was taken in 2013, 2014, and a direction that was taken by the company um, in the interest of its consumers, in the interest of using capital efficiently, is, I believe, digging up a grave just to make a point. He also says that based on the battery swap technology, California Air Resources Board had awarded Tesla extra zero emission credits. Uh, but again, that's not true. The California Air Resources Board gave Tesla credits for selling battery electric vehicles, and not just battery swap. So yes, that is something that I particularly say that is absolutely wrong. He goes on to talk about dual motor and autopilot uh, from a conversation in October 2014. Now he says that Musk had sent a cryptic tweet days before his appearance, saying that about time to unveil the D and something else. The D stood for the dual motor version of the Model S, and the something else was autopilot, which turned out to be anything but an afterthought for Tesla. Now that's absolutely wrong. If you think about what Tesla is built ground up as a computer on wheels. Uh, any car, right from the Roadster, the Tesla has always had what we know today is a really heavy computing rig, a really heavy computing chip on board. And as the times have progressed, the computing power within a Tesla has increased massively to what today is almost a supercomputer. So, when the CEO announced that all cars produced in the 2 weeks leading up to the event had been built with radar, image recognition cameras, and ultrasonic sonar installed, he said that the car can do almost anything. And he listed features such as lane keeping, automatic cruise control, self parking, the ability for owners to summon their vehicles from a parking lot, etc. And Elon had claimed that autopilot would one day render Teslas fully capable of driving themselves uh, and Craig says that it doesn't come until later. Now that's true. At that point in time, Tesla was using a provider called Mobileye. It was a key supplier of hardware. Tesla was not happy with the level of advancement that the hardware guys at Mobileye were able to do. So they, in the true spirit of vertical integration, just went ahead and built their own. They built their own chip. Now think about it. Tesla, what the FUD guys are saying, a car maker built their own chip, basically did what an ARM does, what a Qualcomm does, what an Intel does, built its own chip so that it can vertically integrate and get the most computing power into its vehicle and uh, hit the targets that they've basically set with autopilot, right? So yes, in 2016, it did have an ugly breakup with Mobileye, and it debuted its summon feature in 2019. Yes, in the beginning, some owners, their cars got into scrapes. Some cars very narrowly avoided accidents. At that point in time, Consumer Reports called it glitchy. But I'll ask everybody one simple question. When Apple releases a new version of uh, Mac OS or iOS, when Microsoft releases a new version of Windows, whenever there is any software that is released as a recurring or an upgrade, how often do you see absolute perfection? There has to be a little bit of beta testing. There has to be a release in order to iron out all the kinks, identify where all these are massive softwares. We've got to understand now. Somebody coming from a car ecosystem might believe that hey, a car generally does not need a lot of software, but a Tesla is a computer on wheels. It's a computer that drives that just turns certain that just turns a motor, takes power out of a battery, manages a battery, turns motors and drives a vehicle. It's just an application of software, right? Today, over the course of the last 3 years, the technology has improved so much that it is near flawless. And uh, the fact that Teslas on autopilot are get into accidents 5 to 10 times lesser than the national average in the US is a very, very clear example of how the technology has evolved. So in 2020, I'll ask Craig the question, why do you bring up a question around the authenticity of the fact that autopilot is here? Elon Musk, when he promised autopilot, he has delivered and will potentially continue to deliver because of the plain and simple thing. Tesla has some of the best engineers in the world. It has some of the best AI guys. I am a data scientist. I write AI code myself, and I can say that I wouldn't be able to do what Tesla is doing, uh, you know, uh, unless I were 5x more skilled in writing AI. And it's just a personal viewpoint. But the fact is that they have some of the best engineers in the world. They have the amount of data that they have. The next competitor on self-driving on autopilot technology is Waymo, and Tesla is lapping Waymo on autopilot on self-driving, and nobody even realizes that Waymo has uh, a minute fraction of the amount of data that Tesla has. Tesla has almost 1 million cars on the road daily collecting information and sending it back to Tesla. Tesla is building a supercomputer, the Dojo, in order to deploy massive neural networks to think about this. For those who know about AI, Tesla is building AI to tag um, data to feed into AI. That is just something that it's inception, and it's just such a beautiful way of looking at the entire ecosystem of great example of first principles thinking, that when there is something that needs to scale up in terms of effort, how do we automate that uh, down to uh, the most basic unit available? Data collection. How do we automate data collection? We've got to build a car, and we've got to sell that car, and we've got to sell that car in volume. So that's where we go from the Roadster to the Model S, the Model X, to the Model 3 and the Model Y, and of course other cars that are about to come out in the next 3 to 5 years. And how do we collect the most amount of data? Then how do we use that data? How do we tag that data and build the best neural network out there to um, build the safest and the most practical autopilot ever, the most practical self-driving software ever? And that is something that Elon Musk has delivered, is delivering, and will continue to deliver. So again, this point, I don't really see why you would bring this up in 2020. Next, Tesla Energy, May 2015. Musk had laid out a vision, right? Craig said that he very colorfully put it. This handy fusion reactor in the sky, the sun. Of course, everybody wants to harness the sun. Solar energy is uh, the fastest growing source of energy, not just clean renewable energy, but the fastest growing source of energy in the world. Almost every developed country, most of the developing countries, they have massive solar projects underway. Everybody wants to basically get uh, to a point where they're able to harness solar for their energy needs and move away from coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Uh, what Elon Musk had set out as a vision with Tesla Energy, yes, that vision was very, very important. What happened uh, from 2015 to 2020 was that the big limiting factor was that at that point in time, batteries they sucked. That's true. Elon Musk said it. Uh, Batteries were bad in every conceivable way. Tesla needed to put 4,000 batteries into its car to get the power and the torque required to run the motors and deliver the Model S, Model X, Model 3, so on. And just a note on battery day, Tesla was not happy with the advances in battery research that were happening under the wings of the major providers Panasonic, CATL, LG Chem. So Tesla, in the true spirit of vertical integration, started working with academics, started working with companies. It bought Maxwell Technologies, High Bar Systems, and it basically set out to create the most advanced battery technology ever, and it looked to do it in-house so that the costs are down, so that it can make sure that the right amount of investment in terms of time, effort, money, and in terms of the most valuable ROI, the most valuable reward out of research is hit. And by the looks of it, what Tesla is going to talk about during Battery Day, tabless electrodes, the thick fat cell that was leaked, and a few other things under the Project Roadrunner name that Tesla is running is really exciting because Elon Musk is starting to deliver on the promises that he had made a while back about bringing the most advanced battery chemistries and the most advanced battery technology to market, to commercialize them, and to bring down the cost of batteries, to bring down the cost of its vehicles so that they are more affordable, so that they are within the reach of a larger percentage of populations. So yeah, that is happening, right? Now, what Craig says is that over the last 5 years, the cars have remained the dominant part of Tesla's business. 86% of the revenue coming from automotive last quarter. Elon Musk says that the business that Tesla today is cell-starved or battery constrained, the more popular way of putting it. And it is true. There aren't just enough batteries to go around. And the fact is that cars are the most efficient way of using the available batteries to move away from uh, petroleum, natural gas, and coal and into a world where we are using our resources more sustainably. Uh, yes, Tesla has sold. some power packs. Tesla has sold some mega packs. It has the Powerball. All of these have been an example, or essentially, uh, as we like to call it, proof of concepts that these technologies, yes, they are available to us. Yes, they can scale. They're expensive today. They will come down in cost over time and will bring about change. And the key element to bringing that change is to be able to scale up battery manufacturing and make batteries available to the world en masse. Now, back in the day, Giga Nevada was the first Gigafactory vision was put into place because Tesla and Elon Musk saw that the world is going to be battery constrained, cell constrained, and his vision was essentially to build the world's largest battery manufacturing facility. In fact, at that point in time, Giga Nevada was supposed to be the equivalent of the entire world's battery manufacturing capacity. And it is only increased today from 30 gigawatt hours. Tesla is looking to build a terawatt hour of battery capacity in order to meet its 2023-2024 targets. And who knows, going by the way Tesla is right now, it might very well hit that target, right? So he goes on and further says, he talks about Model 3, and in March 2016, he says that Tesla managed to follow through on a lot of specifications that Musk promised for Model 3. Tesla managed to follow through on most of the specifications promised from Model 3, including at least 215 miles of range. And he says that that drew laughs from the crowd when he said that his propensity to miss deadlines, and he said that he does feel fairly confident that it'll be next year. Yes, that event was a big success. Yes, Model 3 was delayed for a few months. Of course, they had production hell. Yes, this was the first time Tesla was moving up from a few thousand uh, uh, vehicles a month to a significant number. And yes, this was the first time that it was actually scaling up production to a level where, in a given factory, it could match something that a Ford does, or a GM does, or a Toyota does. And yes, there were teething issues which caused a lot of delays. Yes, Elon Musk went ahead and really invested in over automation, as Elon Musk said. Why not? When you're building the most advanced car manufacturing facility in the world, it is great to try and overachieve. It is, or at least have a vision too. And then the good thing is that, when the Tesla team realized that, hey, you know what, robotics is probably not going to work in 100% of the cases, they very quickly rolled that back and uh, started to essentially bring in more people to do some of the more difficult tasks for robotics. Now, one example that I'll give you is wiring. Wiring is so difficult for a robot to install because there are these small nooks and crannies and corners and places where wires have to go, and it's very difficult for a robot to actually do that. But we humans have these 10 tools, our fingers, and we find it a lot more easier to bend in, get into different nooks, crannies, etc. But Tesla did not stop there. It did not say that, hey, all right, we're going to just use humans. The problem, again, first principles thinking. Uh, Tesla saw that, hey, we've got hundreds of thousands of miles of wiring in a car. I mean, do we really need it? From Model S to Model 3, there was a significant reduction in wiring. I will link a video to Sandy Munro's videos, who tears down vehicles, and is probably one of the biggest public sources of automotive expertise and information out there on the internet. And he's basically said that he's blown away by how much Tesla has improved from Model S to Model 3 to Model Y. And that in Model Y, the amount of wiring is less than 10% of what was there in Model S. And The whole reason why Tesla invested so much and actually went ahead and did this was to make it more automatable, to make it easier for robots to actually install the harness, so that the human element and the amount of time and effort that is required to put in all of that goes down, and Tesla is able to speed things up in general assembly by a much larger extent. So yes, Tesla is doing it. Tesla is improving every day. Tesla is not a company that designs a vehicle and then sends the spec to a factory, and then the factory just does that for the next 10 years. In fact, to quote Sandy Munro here, he basically says that there is no other automotive OEM that moves um, even in the same dimension as Tesla does. In the same, Tesla moves 10x to 100x faster than every other OEM in the world, which is just great. I mean, Sandy Munro, he spent his entire life working at Ford, and he's tried to bring in change so many times, and he's got stories where there's so much of pushback, and that pushback happens today itself. In fact, Sandy Munro's reports are bought primarily by Japanese, by Chinese, some by European. No American automaker has bought reports from Sandy Munro. That just tells us how much pushback to change there is from these large OEMs out of the US. So yeah, I mean that's there. What Craig says, that the one promise that Tesla failed to follow through on was a $35,000 starting price, and he says that the cheapest Model 3 available is 37,990. Wow, this is 37,990 without credits. Remember, what is the difference between 35,000 and 37,990? It's the cost of technology. And I will give it to you in writing that after Battery Day, after some of the latest advances actually get into Model 3, the cost will not only come down below 35,000, but it might actually be closer to 30 or $32,000, which is something that yes, Elon had promised and will achieve over time. Think about it. He just said that the Cybertruck will come at a price point which is absolutely unheard of in the luxury truck space. And the basis of that claim was that there is battery technology that is evolving at a faster pace than most of the guys out there can even think of. So yeah, I mean, this is just I mean, I don't really see why Craig would say something like this. He also says that Musk had announced plans to close most of Tesla's stores as a cost-saving measure, and uh, uh, and that he backtracked 10 days later. Well, yes, he basically said that there was a lot of backlash from the community. They said that the Tesla stores are are, are basically a place where that people can not just go and get a feel of the car and get to look at it, but also serve as great information and education centers. They serve as a place to hang out for Tesla fans. So that is why Elon, he basically listened to his customers. And within 10 days, he said that, no, I was wrong. I listened to you guys. I appreciate that you want to have our stores near you. So yeah, we'll give you those stores. We're not going to shut them down. Think about it. Elon Musk said that he will close stores down in order to save cost so that his balance sheet is better. But his customers wanted the stores to stay open, so he's potentially taking a large hit on the balance sheet in order to keep the stores open. Because, yes, on Tesla's balance sheet, it's a cost center, it's a huge cost center because Tesla is not making any money out of I mean, there are of course indirect benefits to having stores, but there's no direct revenue that's attributed to the stores. So yeah, I mean, he's basically said that I'm okay making less money as long as my customers are satisfied. So why would you put it into an article like this, and that too in 2020? Let's talk about the solar roof, right? Um, There was a time when Elon Musk basically said that the Solar City acquisition was blindingly obvious and a no-brainer, right? He had that event where he showcased the solar roof, and yeah, it just looked brilliant, right? It was a $2 billion acquisition. At that point, he Elon Musk had pushed it with the shareholders. The shareholders agreed with him. And then 2.5 years later, he basically said that at that time he thought it makes strategic sense. And in hindsight, it might have been better to just let SolarCity execute on its own. Uh, well, yes, that is very much true. I still feel that, hey, SolarCity is key to, or at least the solar energy component is key to a fully vertically integrated experience for consumers. Because if you look at the Tesla app today, and if you have a Tesla roof, if you have uh, a parcel, a Powerwall, sorry, if you have a Tesla car, if you're completely off the grid or if you're tied to the grid, it gives you a complete ecosystem of generation, storage, usage, and sale back to the grid. And as a consumer, it is just so much powerful of a statement. Yes, SolarCity did not make a lot of money for Tesla. Tesla's solar business has been on the down low, and there's a reason to it. Tesla has been working uh, at the back end, improving solar cells, improving the efficiencies, reducing the cost to the point that today in 2020, Tesla guarantees the lowest cost per watt hour across every manufacturer, across every available option in the US. And we are slowly starting to see solar sales go back up again. Uh, Tesla has two options. One is a solar panel retrofit, and the other is a solar roof. And the idea is that the solar roof, the cost has been brought down to a point where it is almost equivalent to building a new roof and buying solar panels and putting them in. And it just looks so much better, is much more durable. There's uh, it is by estimates going to be a lot more durable than your normal roof, to the point that by the time the entire construction of the house sort of starts crumbling, the roof will be the only component that is left. So think about it. Uh, back in the day, yes, Elon Musk saw that there is strategic advantages to having solar in. Elon Musk said that we should have Solar City as part of Tesla. He went ahead, he looked at the numbers, he got shareholders to agree with him, and he was not able to execute that well for a few years, which is very much possible. There is a lot that Tesla has been doing. Tesla has been doing vehicles. Tesla has been doing batteries. Tesla has been improving its lineup. Tesla has been doing the Powerwall. The It has been doing so many other things. It's built Giga Shanghai. It is building Giga Berlin. It has now started building Giga Texas. Giga Nevada is increasing in size and capacity. There's just so much that Tesla is doing. So yes, it is very much possible that the Buffalo factory was not able to add to the balance sheet as much as it was required. But hey, it's fine. There's a time for everything, and I believe that the time is now. So yes, sure, Craig, I'll give you this one. The SolarCity acquisition probably was not the best call at that point in time, but over time, I think it is going to just become a blip in Tesla's history, and it's going to be a much bigger driver of revenue than what you make it out to be over 2020 to 2022. Let's talk about the Semi and the Roadster in December 27. He time and I quote Craig on this one. Time will tell if the semi truck truly offers quasi-infinite brake life and thermonuclear explosion-proof glass. Right? He talks about the surprise cargo that came out of the semi, which is the new Roadster prototype, and that it would be the fastest production car ever made. Period. Right? Now think about it. Is it is it so far from the realm of possibility that this is actually true? Elon Musk has said it publicly that the list of priorities is Model 3, Model Y, Cybertruck, and then the Semi, and then the Roadster. Because that for Elon Musk, it is not about bringing the Roadster to life and making it all showy and that it's going to be shot up Tesla's arm. No, what is going to be most important and Tesla is its mission is to advance the advance our march towards sustainable transport and sustainable living. To be honest, if you think about it, so yes. Bringing mass market vehicles, bringing the mass market pickup truck to life, bringing semis. All of these have a far more impact on reducing our reliance on petroleum, on natural gas, than the Roadster will. But having said that, if you've seen some of the videos online, the Roadster prototype is already making some big waves, and it has been shown to probably be one of the fastest vehicles ever, right? In fact, the fastest EVs out there in terms of acceleration today is touted to be the Porsche Taycan and the Lucid Air, uh, and we are waiting for the Raven Model S that will probably beat the Porsche and the Lucid Air. So yeah, I mean, I'm expecting this to be revealed during Battery Day again because the new batteries will really the power delivery of the new batteries is so much that it will actually power the Raven Model S and possibly also a Model X refresh. So these will potentially Tesla will again get the fastest production car, the fastest production EV at least. That badge Tesla is going to win back. So yeah, that's about to happen. So finally, he talks about Model Y. And look what he says, right? With Model 3 production finally in full swing after a bruising year, uh, Musk said Tesla will came within weeks of running out of money, and he thanked the crowd for supporting the company through a difficult period. Where yes, that did happen, and you know he he had a lot of critics at that point in time. Remember the short shorts? His critics said that you're a fraud. Well, the best answer is you can drive this fraud, and I totally agree with Elon on this one, right? Craig says, to Tesla's credit, the Model Y arrived much earlier than scheduled. Musk said at the time of this event that the crossover would start reaching consumers in the fall of 2020. The timeline was accelerated to March. What Craig does not talk about is that this is not the only time Tesla beat timelines. Giga Shanghai, less than a year to its first production, and ramp up within 3 months to the same to about 200,000 cars a year. Nobody ever imagined that a car manufacturer could go from groundbreaking to manufacturing 200,000 cars a year annualized in 1 year, right? Giga Berlin, uh, the progress is so fast, it's faster than Giga Shanghai. The expectations are that within 9 months, 9 to 10 months of groundbreaking, Tesla is going to produce its first cars and is going to ramp up very quickly from there. Giga Texas, just look at the speed of construction. So uh, I think what has happened over time is that the expectations from Tesla has increased, and well, Tesla is delivering. Tesla is delivering. 2012, it had absolutely no experience in producing cars at scale. 2015, it started producing its first cars at scale. 2017, production hell. Started learning what it actually means to start producing cars at mass market scale. 2020, it is the expectation is that it will be able to bring cars to life from empty, barren ground at the fastest pace ever. See my point? Now, finally, Autonomy Day, April 19th. Well, the hours long presentation, what Craig says, that he made some usual bold predictions. Well, we are in 2020. We saw the video of the advances in self-driving that has come out. Full in terms of full self-driving packages, yes, auto summon works. Um, uh, Full self-driving on highways works. It just works. It is safe. It is convenient. In fact, people have been fined because they have been sleeping in while Teslas have been driving themselves, because that is the level of confidence that Tesla's full self-driving on highways brings to its owners and its drivers. So why would you add something like this into an article in 2020? God only knows. The cyber girl and the cyber truck, right? A demonstration of how tough Cybertruck's stainless steel exoskeleton went well, with the door sustaining several blows without denting. But an attempt to show off the strength of the transparent metal armor glass went disastrous. A metal ball shattered both the first and the second row windows. Oh, come on. Take any other car, take any other production car and throw a solid metal, a steel ball into it. If somebody's sitting in the car, he is dead. He is dead. Cybertruck smashed it. Why did it smash? Probably because it had sustained several blows to the exoskeleton and and if Craig knows anything about how tempered glasses are made, they are the weakest around the edges, and if you if you keep hitting the edges, it will start cracking. Uh, it'll it'll basically lose its strength. So yes, um, bulletproof glass is not designed. Tempered glass is not designed uh, uh, or armor glass is not designed to continuously take a beating on and on and on again and still stay strong. It is designed to prevent that one bullet from killing you. It is designed to prevent that one attack on you, that one explosion from harming you, and so that you can uh, get away from the scene of you know from whatever happened. It is not designed to take on blow after blow after blow and just stay as strong. So, well, I mean, get your science right, mate. I'm sorry, right? So, I mean, that's the article, and that's the latest FUD. Now, unfortunately, the reason I made this video is I live in India, and this is something that has uh, through a wire. It has been sort of showcased on Hindustan Times Auto, which is one of the major dailies in India, and is read by a lot of people who are potentially Tesla investors in India. Now, how do you invest in Tesla? Being an Indian resident, I'm going to make a video soon enough and I'll link it here. I am a full disclosure, I am a Tesla investor. Uh, so yeah, I mean, this is something that is just continuously spreading the FUD. And think about it. I mean, there has been this is not something that is new. The Indian media, it's look at it. Hindustan Times Auto. It basically 5 days back uh, wrote an article about how the Tesla Model 3 broke a Guinness World Record for fastest charging electric vehicle on a road trip, right? Then it has also said about how a Tesla heavy fund bought, which is ARK Invest, bought more shares when recently there was a day when Tesla shares fell about 20% because it did not get included in the S&P this time. There was a lot of expectation that S&P is going to include uh, Tesla in the S&P 500 list, and that a lot of index funds will have to buy into Tesla. There are a lot of reasons why it did not happen. Lots of videos. I'll provide links in the description over time. But yeah, there was a 20% drop when three other companies were included in the list, but not Tesla. This time does not mean that it is not going to get included over the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whenever in the future, because it is not only by market cap the largest automaker in the world. It is, if you look at Tesla's valuation, it is in the top 10. It is comparable to the top 10 in the S&P 500 list. So it's only a matter of time, right? If you just do a search of everything that in the Indian mainstream media seen about Tesla. There's uh, you know uh, there's this there's there's a lot of information. There is a lot of there's a lot of positivity. Uh, there's a lot of let's say uh, just pure reporting that's happening. And then this Bloomberg article that came out and just got showed in here uh, gets spread so much far amongst investors who've been reading about Tesla, who've been interested in Tesla, who've potentially been looking to invest in Tesla, or have already invested in Tesla, and then an article like this shows up, and it uh, potentially will cause investors to start selling Tesla. And who knows? It might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing, but it's essentially fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is driving investors to take actions by an through an article like this, and not proper research, and not a deep understanding of the company and the fundamentals itself. And I think that is something that we've got to fight together. And just a disclaimer here, I am not a financial investor. I do not give out investing advice. Uh, I am a stockholder because I did my research and I understood fundamentals myself, and I feel confident in Tesla's future. I think that it has a long way to go. And my advice to every other current and potential investor is that you do your own research and come to your own conclusions before investing. But yes, always make sure that you identify what is reporting, what is fact, and what is FUD. So that's the video for today. Thank you for listening. If you're still here, you're awesome. And let's all fight the FUD together. Thank you.